Hello everyone, welcome back to Triad Travelogues. I am Richard, and I'm coming at you today from the outskirts of Shanghai, China. And I want to try something new today. I want to try to do something that I've never done on this channel before. I basically, well, okay, let me back up for a minute, and I want to introduce you guys. For those of you who have never watched my channel before, this is Leoti. This is my little baby. Believe it or not, this is a baby girl. Even though she doesn't have any hair on the top of her head, and she's nearly 2 years old. She's got some hair on the back, though. You guys see this? Look at this. She's got this hair on the back, but no hair on the front. It's okay. It's okay. I think she'll have hair eventually. I hope. Yeah. Anyway, so basically what I did was I shot a couple of hours of footage at what I'm pretty sure was an abandoned electricity plant, an electrical plant, or they were doing some kind of industrial work involving wires and cables. It looked very electric factory-esque to me. But I'm also an idiot, and so I can't go into a place like this and gauge exactly what it is that they did there, because I'm not like a man's man, you know. I'm not like a guy. I mean, I am a guy, but I'm not like a, you know, there are fix-it kind of guys. There are guys that are good at fixing things, and they, you know, they're the same kind of guys that like cars. They're really into like building and fixing, and I am a completely useless person when it comes to things like that, building things, fixing things. I think those types of guys would be the guys that could walk into, sorry if I sound sexist when I say this. This is just from my own experience. These are the kind of guys that could walk into a place like this, like what you're looking at on the screen right now, and just know, based on the tools that were around, based on the stuff that was laying around and the layout, they just would know, oh, they did this, you know, this is an abandoned electrical plant, you know, they made electricity here. I can tell by the things that I see. And okay, I gotta put this baby down. Okay, go and run free. You're free to run. You're free to roam. Go. I'm watching her, guy. I'm not neglecting this baby. I'm watching her. Just she has an attention span issue. She's not she's just and now she's trying to cause a lot of problems. But okay. So we'll just, you know what? I'm going to keep my eye on her, and if she happens to get into any kind of physical trouble, I will jump out of the seat and I will go save her. Anyway, you know, I'm not that kind of guy. I have no idea what they were doing at this place that I was exploring. But it seemed to me that it was some kind of an electrical factory plant thing. Now, I'm in China, and I actually did this exploration on the first day of Chinese New Year's. It was a couple of days ago. It was February the somethingth. February, I think, 14th. Or 13th. And my original plan was to go and explore this hotel. There's an abandoned hotel that is probably a quarter mile from where I live. And I've been to this hotel a couple of times. And I went, you know, I had everything prepared. I got up really early in the morning, and basically right when the sun was coming up, right when the sun started to come up, I went. I ran down the street. You know, I had my backpack full of flashlights and my GoPro strapped to my head. And the plan was to just sort of walk in. You know, it's an abandoned hotel. I think it's 6 floors. I think it's a 6-story building. And my plan was to just go in. You know, there's a guard station. There's a guard there, and he just guards like this complex. It's like a police station, and then next to the police station is this empty hotel, and then across from that is a bank. And the guard just kind of guards this complex. You guys can see the baby behind me, right? See, she's causing, and she's trying to eat. She's trying to eat magnets from the refrigerator. So anyway, you know, I've been into this hotel before. I just never went in with my camera, and I figured I could make a good video there. So I went there, and lo and behold, you know, 5:30 in the morning, 5:45, whatever time it was around there, there was a guard that was stationed there. And sometimes there's a guard there, sometimes there's not. But the few times that I've gone to check it out when I was just doing a kind of preliminary assessment of that property, there was no guard there. And so I saw the guard and I thought, well, I'll just walk past him like I own the place, you know, because it's a big parking lot. People park there right in front of the hotel. So I did. I just sort of, I took my phone out of my pocket and I pretended I was talking on the phone, and I just walked right past the guard, and the guard came out smoking a cigarette, of course, because he's a man in China, and men in China, they smoke cigarettes. They chain smoke cigarettes. They, you know, anytime you see a guard or a police officer or anybody that's like in that kind of, not really a position of authority, but a kind of a position of authority that is a little bit more superior to your regular people. You know, obviously they don't have a real position of authority. I don't even think their guns are loaded, but like, you know, they're lowly police officers, lowly mall cops or whatever. All that you see these people do is smoke cigarettes. They sit in their little booths, they play on their phones, and they smoke cigarettes. And so, you know, it really, I think I could have snuck past this guard. I wanted to say, by the way, that I'm not a criminal. Like, I don't want to break into this place. I'm not breaking into any place. It's just open. The door is open. I don't want to vandalize any place. I'm not interested in stealing anything. I like to explore these buildings. I like the aesthetic of empty properties, abandoned places. I like how it feels. I like the atmosphere. Plus, you know, I'm in China. In Shanghai, it's very densely populated. And so going to these places that are abandoned, you're actually alone. And I like to be alone occasionally, you know, so whatever. I figured, you know, I'll go to this hotel. So instead of being stealthy about it, I just decided I would just pretend I was talking on my phone, and I would walk past the guard tower or the guard, whatever, shed thing that he sits and smokes his cigarettes in. And he saw me and he came out, Ginalia, Ginalia, Ginalia. I know I'm not saying that right, but he's basically, where are you going? Where are you going? So I just acted like, I mean, I know the guy probably knows, he's probably seen me. I've lived here for 4 years. So I just was like, oh, I don't speak Chinese, kind of act like a dumb white person, because I am a dumb white person. And I was like, I don't speak Chinese. I'm just here. I want to take pictures. And he's like, no, you know, he's shooing me away. He wasn't angry with me. I guess he was smiling because whatever, he got to interact with a white person, and I'm like the only white person that lives in this part of the neighborhood. I mean, I'm one of like 4. So whatever, no big deal. I was really disappointed though, because I couldn't explore this hotel. I've been really looking forward to exploring this hotel, and I am going to go back and explore this hotel. I promise that I will. I'm going to do another one of these kind of videos. But I didn't get to do it that day. So instead of admitting defeat and walking home, I walked around the building, and my hope was that I would find a place that I could sneak in. You know, I could hop a fence or go into, there's a residential area behind this hotel, and I thought maybe I could figure out a way in. But it's pretty much solid. There's only one way in. Well, there's 2 ways. You can hop a really big fence, but the guard, I think, still would see me. Or, you know, he might see me. And I don't want to push my luck too much. Or you just walk past the guard area. So I'm just going to keep my GoPro with me and my flashlights and stuff in my bag, because I pass by this guy. I pass by this hotel every day. Any day that that I go to the metro to take any day that I go outside. I'm normally going to pass this place. So I'm going to go. I'm just going to be opportunistic about it. The next time I see this hotel, the next time I pass it and the guard is not there, I'm just going to run in, do a video. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm really sorry. Yeah. So, and I know you're watching these images on the screen and you have no idea what this is. But I told you already, I think it's an abandoned electrical, facility. I don't know. They produced electricity at one point. But the way I found this place is I just decided to keep walking after, the guard made me leave the hotel property parking lot thing. I decided I would keep walking. So, I walked around for maybe an hour and I found this place that I've seen this place before and I've always wondered about it because it's like I have some other videos on my YouTube channel of Urbex Shanghai videos. And, there's one that's, an abandoned, oh, no, little baby, no. I'm sorry, the baby's messing with my microphone. This is the reality of having a kid. Anybody out there is like considering, hey, I want to get married and have a kid. Consider this, okay? You'll never do anything ever again for the rest of your life without the kid being there. And I like this baby. I love my daughter. But like, it's never like, I just want to make a video for, I want to make a video today. And no, it just doesn't have, she's always going to be here, she's so, maybe that sounds really negative and cynical. I'm not trying to sound cynical. I'm just saying, if you do decide to have a baby, be prepared to like have the baby around all the time. Yeah. Man, I went off on just a terrible tangent there. I love my daughter. Okay. I love my daughter. Anyway, so I have another video. Oh, thank you very much. I have another video on my channel, and it's called Abandoned Car Repair Center, I think, something along those lines. And it is an exploration of a car repair area. I guess it was a business or a series of businesses that specialized in car repair, just car related stuff. And, when I did that video, I saw that there was this big blue gate and it's locked. But if you look in through the cracks in this gate, you can see that there is this area behind it. And it almost looks like a small city, like a little town, a tiny, like a campus. As some kind of abandoned college campus. It's big, it's spacious, there's a lot of buildings and there's roads, but there's nobody there. Which is, oh, thank you very much. See, she's bringing me all these magnets. You see these? These are little dog she likes to play with magnets. Thank you so much for these. Go get the other ones. Go get the other ones. So, I had said in the video, I think maybe one day I'll come back and explore this. I got to figure out a way to get to jump this fence, really big fence. So I decided after I got booted from the hotel, I decided to go and try this place out, see if I could get into this place. And I ended up figuring another way around, jumping a smaller fence, this brick fence. And so I jumped over the fence and sure enough, it led me around to the other side to where this sort of campus looking thing was. And I didn't realize before I had gone there, I didn't realize how big this place actually was. Here. Take all of these. Look, go put those on the refrigerator. Go. You're okay. Go put those on the refrigerator. I didn't realize how big this place really was. But this is this place that you're looking at right now. And in China, the way that they do construction and sometimes just service-related things that require people to stay in one place for a long period of time, but not necessarily forever, or for the long term, is they'll have people come in from other provinces, from other cities. From a lot of times people will come from very rural areas to Shanghai so they can do work. Temporary work, construction work, or work anything involving building things or maintaining things that is not really short term, but not long term. You know, maybe several years worth of work. These people will come from places where they don't have a lot of work, very rural farming sort of communities. You know, these are dudes that need to provide for their families, sometimes women, but most of the time it's men. They want to provide for their family, so they move basically temporarily to a job site. And I'm pretty sure that this is one of those places. I don't know if it was a temporary place or not. Maybe somebody that's watching this video will call me out on my idiocy and will be able to point out immediately what this place was used for. But it seems like it's something electricity related. Oh, and this. Look at this thing. See, I don't even know what this is. I thought, oh, this, I'm gonna climb up this big yellow thing. You know, it's like a control thingamabobber. You know, dude sits inside of it and controls the little knobs like an Atari. See, I'm not a very knowledgeable person. For me, the whole, you know, exploring these places is like, I like the aesthetic of it. I like how it feels. Look, do you see this? It's like a rundown little, see, there's little knobs and there's a little thing that looks like a refrigerator and you can just walk inside. I have no idea what this thing is used for though. You know, and I almost feel right now, as I'm saying this, I feel a sort of a shame. I feel shame, you know, like I should know what this is because I'm a man, you know, I'm a man and I should know what this is, but I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. I like how it looks. I like how it feels, you know. Obviously it hasn't been used for years and years, but whatever. It's something and it looks cool. So I get to sit in that. And now there is this sort of, when I talk about, you know, electricity, there is this weird thing about this place. I was talking to my friend about this the other day. You know, anytime that you go to an abandoned place, especially a place of this magnitude that's big, and it had been used for a long period of time. There were people there. It had been used for a specific thing, you know. We're going to get into that stuff later about some of my experiences exploring. But, oh, thank you so much. I told your mom not to give you these. See, she's got these pins, and she writes all over her face with these pins. See? No, I'm not giving that back to you. No, you can't have the pins. You can No, you can't have that. You can have this. Take it. Okay? No, because... All right, okay, look. Just don't write on yourself, okay? Don't draw all over your face. That's not good for your little face. So these places, when you go to explore these places, each place you go has a very specific feel to it. It's almost a spiritual feeling. It's an atmosphere, an energy. And I'm not a religious person, but I can recognize the quality that something has. You know, people say this building is haunted, this place is haunted. I can recognize that feeling. I'm familiar with it. I've explored a lot of different places like this, and there's no, you know, it's always different. It's always a different feeling. There are places that feel where you feel fear, and there are places where you feel despair or sadness. And this place had a feeling that was not really clear to me when I was there. Here's this baby. Like it had this kind of feeling. You know, I spent 2 hours at this place, and it had this feeling that got stronger as I stayed there for longer, and it was something I've never felt before. And it was almost like a building up of tension. And it wasn't the normal kind of oppressive feeling that you get in places like this, or that kind of eerie feeling. It was almost like, by the time I was, okay, I'm gonna pick up this baby. By the time I was done, by the time I left, I had this kind of feeling of depression. It wasn't sadness. It was just like depression, like something that has no circumstance attached to it. Not just like a sadness, but like a, I cannot escape from this, you know, where you just kind of resign to your sadness. You know, it's not, because I feel like things like sadness have a point to them. There's a reason that you feel sad or that you feel angry or fear. It compels you to behave a certain way, to do a certain thing. It's evolutionary. You feel fear because you know, maybe you need to get away from something. Okay, if you don't want to be up here, then don't come up here. If you don't want to be up here, don't come up here. See, she does this. When I'm sitting in this chair, she wants to crawl up on me. But then when she gets here she comes again. But then when she gets up on me, she doesn't want to be up here. She wants to be down. And I pick her up, and then I sit her on my lap, and she doesn't want to be up here anymore. She wants to, it's like a cat. You know, the cat comes and meows at the door, and you let the cat in, and the cat doesn't want to be in. The cat wants to be out. It's like that. She doesn't know what she wants. So, anyway, these feelings you get, they're designed, well, not designed, but they are evolutionary. And the reason they exist is so that you know that you need to, it's really important that you behave a certain way to make the feeling go away. You know, sadness is like this, grief or whatever, you know, it's like, okay, I need to deal with this. Fear is like, I need to get away from here. You know, anger is like, I need to change something about my life or about my atmosphere, my environment, because so I won't feel this anger. You know, everything leads towards some kind of action. But depression is different. And I've never been really depressed, clinically depressed, but I'm familiar with depression. I've dated people with depression. I've been very close friends with people who have depression, clinical depression. And it's not an impetus for anything. It's not like a thing that you have that compels you to do anything other than just sleep or be miserable, or, you know, it's like a thing that you can't escape from. It's not evolutionary. It's a malfunction of your brain. And that's really what this place felt like. It felt like it wasn't oppressive. It was just like this sadness that you just kind of resign to. And it was something that sorry, this baby is like, I don't want to be up here anymore. Okay, then you go, right? You go play with your toys. Look, you got so many toys. This baby has so many toys and so much to do, so much to play with. I don't know what you want. No, you're not getting, I'm not letting you in there. No, you can play with the other one. You can't play with that one though. All right, sorry guys. Like I said, I'm a very busy guy. I don't have a lot of time to do things like this. It's a holiday right now. My wife is gone. I figured I would try to do this. But it's just not working out, is it? It's just not working out. Look at my iPad. My iPad's going off. I am the least professional YouTuber. And is saying a lot, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, my point is, I felt this kind of sadness when I was at this place, but after I left, I didn't really think about it anymore until the next day, and especially the next night. I was lying in bed late at night. My wife had already gone to sleep. I'd put the baby to sleep, and I was lying in bed, and I could not stop thinking about this place, and I realized this kind of, the feeling that, I guess I'll talk about this. Why not? Because when I was young, when I was in my 20s, I experimented a lot with drugs, with different chemicals, and who didn't? I'm from Dallas, Texas. We didn't have anything to do. I grew up in this really ultra conservative town called The Colony, Texas. Just an absolute miserable cesspool of just a horrible, horrible neoconservative Southern Baptist place. I was the kind of kid that either got eaten alive by a place like that, or you got two options. One is to let it eat you, and the other one is to escape. And I escaped, but I know a lot of people get eaten alive by the Colony, Texas. Most people never leave. I think most people I think a lot of the people I grew up with are still there, and they're doing the same thing their parents did. You know, but it's a trashy place. I grew up there, and we did a lot of drugs. And, you know, I had a little bit of experience with ecstasy, with MDMA, and it wasn't really MDMA. I guess it was just ecstasy. It was just ecstasy tabs that we took. And for anybody that's done ecstasy, and I think anybody that's my age, you know, I'm 35 years old. I don't do drugs anymore. I actually don't do anything anymore other than I drink a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, but that's pretty much it. I got my coffee right here. Look, it's my coffee right here. Sitting with my baby in my lap, drinking coffee, talking about the good old times when we took ecstasy. Jesus Christ. Anyway, you know how when you take ecstasy and you have all these experiences, maybe you'll listen to an album, a couple of albums. I'll give you an example. When I took a bunch of ecstasy this one time. There, these little blue ecstasy pills, and I think I took like 4 of them. I was with my brother, and it was just like, we got all these ecstasy pills, and these things are expensive. They're like $20 a pill. So I probably ate like $100 worth of ecstasy that night. And I remember we were listening to 2 albums over and over again on repeat. I guess we had one of those CD players that plays like, you know, you can put like 3 or 4 CDs, and we had 2 CDs. We just listened to them on repeat. So it was one and then the other and then the other, just back and forth, back to back. One was Beck's album, The Information, which, by the way, is a phenomenal album. I love that album a lot. Any Beck album in general, like Beck, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant musician. I love his work. Anyway, so one of them was The Information by Beck, and the other one, it was right around the time that album had first come out. Yeah. And the other one was Dummy by Portishead. And to this day, I cannot listen to, you know, and we took all these pills, and we were probably, I don't know, there were a bunch of people getting back rubs, and you know how ecstasy is, sucking on smoking cigarettes and sucking on pacifiers, and just listening to these albums over and over and over again. I think I got my head shaved that night, actually. And I got a Blur song in my head now. I got my head shaved, dun, 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 by a jumbo jet. Is that what it is? I got my head shaved by a jumbo jet. I got my head shaved. Anyway, I did not get my head shaved by a jumbo jet. I got my head shaved by my friend. What? I told you not to eat the pen. See, she's trying to eat a pen. Hold on 1 second. No. You can't chew on that. That's not safe. That's not safe. So, anyway, yeah, I got my head shaved that night, I think. But those 2 albums, Beck's The Information and Portishead's Dummy, I cannot listen to those albums now. When I go back and I listen to those albums, it brings back that feeling that I had. You know, and when you take ecstasy, your brain releases all this serotonin, and you have these, I guess I've heard it referred to as an empathogen. I think it's an empathogen, right? I might be wrong about my drug classification, but it basically makes you, it's very emotional. It's a very emotional experience, and your whole body feels just good. But if you take a lot of it, you don't just feel good. You almost feel so good that it's not good. It's like so good that it's bad. It's kind of, it's too much. It's really difficult to explain if you've never experienced it, but that's how I was feeling. And now that I go back and I think about those that night, or nights that are similar to that, or especially if I listen to those 2 albums that I mentioned, I have a reaction to it, and I think back on those on that in a kind of, there's a kind of darkness there to it. Okay, you know, there's a kind of a sinister feel to it. that wasn't there when we were on the drop. Oh, did you drop your pen? Okay, there. Here. You know, it has a kind of a sinister feel to it. And again, it's really hard to explain if you've never experienced it before, but that is how this place that you're looking at on your screen right now, that is how this place felt the next day. You know, more than 24 hours later, 30 some odd hours later, I'm laying in bed and I can't stop thinking about this place and the energy that this place had. And it really just feels dark and sinister. I thought the best way to describe it is it feels like now those memories that I have of this place, not the video, obviously, because the video is objective, but the memories that excuse me, that I have of this place, my memories are shrouded by kind of this sinister, dark feeling. And it's almost like there's this big, wet, black blanket that's covering up my memory of this place. And it's very strange because it's something I have never really felt before. Hold on one second. Okay, here. Come on. She never bothers me like this unless I'm trying to do something productive. Is this considered productive? She doesn't bother me unless I'm trying to do something where she shouldn't bother me. She knows. She has this intuition. Dad is working on something important. I better go and mess it up. Thank you. Don't touch the microphone. Whatever you do, don't touch the microphone. Anyway, so, you know, I was thinking about this yesterday. You know, I can't shake this feeling of this sinister feeling about this place. And you know what? I wonder if, because this place was possibly used to, in some form or another, to produce or control or maintain electricity, I wonder if there were electromagnetic fields bouncing around inside of this place. You know, like, I wonder if there were if I was affected by electromagnetic stuff. And it may sound crazy, but I want to read something to you. I have to find it first because it's not like I research my videos or anything before I do them. I'm not that organized. But okay, I got to... Basically, you know, I remember reading... Oh, I'm not connected to the internet. I'm kind of stupid. Okay, hold on. Here. Why don't you move? Why don't you go there, huh? You're okay. Okay, so I unplugged my internet connection because before I do any kind of audio production type thing, I always unplug all of the things in my apartment that make noise, you know, like the refrigerator buzzes. Bzzz. So I have to unplug it because the microphone picks it up. But the bad part of that is that I also have unplugged my internet connection. So now I can't go online and read you the stuff that I wanted to read, which is going to be a problem actually later on because I need to talk to you about some of the places I've explored, and I was planning on reading some of this stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. You guys, I want you to just watch what's on the screen and look at how cool it is, okay? Because something really important is happening right now. I'm picking up some kind of gift box. I think there's chocolate in that box, and I got a flashlight out. Yeah, there's chocolate. See, okay, so I want you to watch that, okay? And I'm going to go, and it'll take me probably 30 seconds, 45 seconds, okay? And I'm going to turn on my my modem and my router, okay? So I can have an internet connection on my computer. I'm also, I'm going to go do that. So just chill for a minute, okay? Look, I'm going to put the baby in the chair, okay? You guys can check out. Look, you can look at the baby. Come here. Okay, look. Here's a baby. Look, this is going to be, she's my replacement host. Can you guys see her? Okay. She's going to be your host for just a minute. So I can I'm going to go plug my modem in. Okay. So just hold on a second. Okay. Let's see. I got I turn this on. And see, I can already hear the buzzing. Now there's always buzzing. I gotta unplug the refrigerator though. The refrigerator is so loud. Is this the refrigerator? No, that's not the refrigerator. Oh, I gotta turn off my air filter too. Oh man, see, I got all kinds of problems over here. Okay, so I got my air filter turned off. I gotta figure out which one my refrigerator is. It's one of these, I think. Did I get it? No, not that one. Maybe this one. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. I'm good. So the modem's back on. See, she's good. See, she's good when it's just her. It's because she accomplished what she wanted to accomplish. She wanted to ruin this video. I don't know. I think she's done a pretty good job of that. All right, you gotta let me up. Come on. You ready? I'm gonna pick you up. Oh, little Santa Claus, baby. Okay. Okay. So I have to connect to the internet now. I won't try to do this. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. You know, you want this? You don't want it? You don't want it? So as I said before, when I first started this video, I'm not a professional. You guys can see that now, I think. Oh, okay. Come on. What is it? What's up? Huh? Oh, me. Okay. I don't know what it is that you want. Look, you got my attention. You're sitting with me. Okay, look. Say wah wah wah. Say hello. She doesn't just want my attention. She wants my full attention, and she knows that I'm doing. What is it? Huh? What's up? She knows that I'm doing something that requires my attention, and she's trying to prevent that from happening. And you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this whole video. I'm going to do this whole thing. You know, anyone else in their right mind would give up right now. Be like, oh, screw this. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do this. All right, this is my format, you guys. My format is I talk and the baby bothers me and is, you know, when she's old enough to talk, I think be like the co-guest or the co-host. Sorry. Okay, come on. What's up? Here you go. Here. There you go. Look. There you go. Look at that. You got all that good stuff. All right. Okay. So I was talking about electromagnetic frequencies. Okay, electromagnetic frequencies. EMF. And believe it or not, EMF frequencies are known to, or not necessarily known to, but they're thought to cause people to have experiences that they might misinterpret as being spiritual or haunted experiences. So, I'm going to read to you this article that I found yesterday. No, give that to me. I'm going to read to you this article that I found yesterday. Let's see if I can find it. Ghosts and electricity. Ghostly magnetism explained. The EMF meter. See, the problem is when you do this stuff, when you look up stuff like this, all of these sites come up that are about ghost hunting, because the ghost hunters, they use EMF meters, I guess, to detect ghosts, because apparently ghosts give off electromagnetic frequencies. Oh, okay. What, do you want this? Do you want this? Okay, you guys are gonna have to give me a minute. Let me fix this problem. Let me go flush this baby down the toilet. Well, what's up? Huh? What's up? I think she's kind of upset because I set up a barrier so she can't get from the living room to the kitchen because she likes to go into the bathroom and cause problems in there. She likes to tear things out. I can't see her. If she's in the bathroom, I can't see her from where I am right now. So I set up a barrier, and I think she's a little upset. Hold on, let me see if I can find that article on my iPad. I think that's where I was reading it. Oh, man. It's like, it's not here. This is just the worst. This is the worst video ever. Oh, here it is. Ghost Lusters. If you want to see a specter bad enough, you will. Okay, I want to preface reading this to you by saying that I do not believe in ghosts, but I'm open to the idea that of the supernatural. I'm open to the idea. I don't necessarily absolutely believe that there is no supernatural things. I don't think there are. I don't think there are. I think there probably aren't. But I'm open to the idea. Maybe there's ghosts. You know, why not? You know, I've been to these places that have felt absolutely haunted, and I've had spiritual experiences that were not introduced before in my life. I've had, you know, experiences with. I've had out of body experiences when I was younger. Before I ever took a drug or even drank a beer. So, I tend toward believing in a scientific explanation, an objectively logical explanation for these kinds of things. It just makes more sense to me that we should try and explain things like that take place only in your mind, that are entirely subjective, that they should be explained rationally instead of from a religious or spiritual perspective. I'm gonna clear my nose. You know, I've been really trying to hold this off and not do it because nobody wants to listen to like a podcast or watch a video where someone's like, "Argh!" You know, but I gotta do this. Hold on, okay? I've been sick, okay? All right, this is an unedited video, obviously. You guys that have watched my other videos and thought, man, this guy is smooth. No, I'm not smooth. I just write scripts, and this is unscripted. And in the real world, I'm not very smooth. Okay. All right. So, most scientists dismiss the vast majority of ghost sightings. I'm reading to you from scientificamerican.com. I'll put a link to this article in the description. You guys can check it out. Most scientists dismiss the vast majority of ghost sightings as hoaxes, but researchers in Canada, England... Oh, I was looking at that like Canada, England. What the hell is Canada, England? Oh, I want to stop for a minute and check this out. Okay, look, you guys see that? That is a dead dog. That is a dead dog. That was the first sign of like just, oh no, this place is dark and horrible. Okay, anyway, when I saw Canada, England, I thought like, is there a Canada in England? But actually... I just didn't read the rest of the sentence and I'm an idiot. But researchers in Canada, England, and elsewhere are exploring what happens in the brain to create the illusion that something is haunted. So far, they have found evidence that some apparitions may be brain benders caused by spiking EMFs, electromagnetic fields, and possibly even extremely low-frequency sound waves, known as infrasound. These sounds are so subtle that the ear does not register them as noise. EMFs emitted by power lines. Whoa! Oh, now Leoti is reading a book, so that's good. See, I'm a good dad. EMFs emitted by power lines and towers, and I think this place was filled with these kinds of like power line frequency thingamabobbers. Clock radios and other electrical sources may help debunk myths that people or things are haunted. So it goes on to talk about some girl that had sex with the Holy Spirit, and she thought there were invisible babies hanging out on her left shoulder talking to her. And when they investigated this girl that had these weird experiences, they found there was an electrical clock that was next to the bed that she placed her head to go to sleep, and they thought maybe the electromagnetic frequencies from this clock were what was causing her to have these strange experiences. And they took the clock away. When the clock was removed, she no longer was having sex with the Holy Spirit. So they thought, hey, you know, maybe we're onto something, and these EMFs, maybe they actually do affect people's perception of reality and create these kind of illusions that where people think that places are haunted. So, another guy, Christopher French, a psychologist in London, he believes that this is true, that EMFs, that these electromagnetic frequencies actually cause hallucinations. And he's done a bunch of tests. And apparently they are not able to definitively prove that there is a correlation between these two things, between EMFs and hallucinations, or at least that there's not a causation. They basically took all these subjects and they put them in a room that was set up to emit these frequencies. And apparently a majority, I don't know if it was a majority, but a lot of these people actually did experience fear, terror, or at least a sense that something was a little bit wrong when they were exposed to these infrasounds or infrawaves and EMFs. Apparently it was not enough. Really just summarizing this article because it's a really long article. But apparently, it's not enough to prove that there is a correlation between these things. But they do believe, there are a lot of people that do believe that this is so, scientists included, that are not into the paranormal, that don't believe in ghosts and things like that. Actually, I like the last line of this article. The last line of the article is that they're talking to one of these scientists, and the scientist says, "I'm a scientist. I don't believe in anything." And I like that. That's good, right? That's like totally objective. I don't believe in anything. You know, we just do tests and we try to determine what is real and what is not real, but I don't believe in anything. I think that's a good way to approach life. Anyway, the point is, you should read this article if you want any kind of a coherent idea about what the article was about, because maybe my summary sucked donkey balls, and I'm sorry about that. But I really do feel like maybe there were electromagnetic frequencies in this place, and they didn't really affect me until the experiences had been transferred from my short-term memory into my long-term memory. And now when I look back at it, even watching this footage, I have that same feeling that I remember having when I was younger and experimenting with drugs. When I looked back on those drug experiences, it was always like, there's just something off. Like my brain knew there was something just wrong. You know, like something was just a little bit off. And when I looked back at those things, the memory that I have, it presents those memories from this perspective, like something was malfunctioning. You know, something was just a little bit wrong here. She's still reading, by the way. She's okay. The baby's okay. Anyway, yeah, this electrical place. Oh, and the reason that I didn't, you know, if you watch some of my other videos, my Urbex videos that I made, I explored an abandoned commercial property, a big sprawling commercial property. I explored for over a series of days, a couple of weeks. There's 3 videos, and I explored them right before, just coincidentally, right before the buildings were demolished. And I actually got some of the destruction, or at least the aftermath of the demolition. I made a video about that as well. But when I did those videos, I took with me a recorder, a voice recorder. and I talked while I was walking around. And that's how I envision doing more of these videos. And the only reason I'm doing this video like this, watching a video that's already been shot and recording the audio later and putting my beautiful face up on the screen for everybody to look at, is because I didn't bring my voice recorder, because that hotel that I originally was planning on exploring is right next door to a police station. And I thought it would be better if I just walked around the building with my flashlight, just use the flashlight when I need to, but try and just don't talk at all. Maybe it'd be less likely that I'd be caught. If I was caught, I think they would just kick me out. I don't think there would be any legal consequences. But that's why this video doesn't have any audio. So here I am, you know, and I'm playing with this format. Eventually, I want to turn this format into a podcast. Not a live podcast, but like I'd like to use this format to basically explore abandoned structures and use that as a backdrop. And then I talk about urban exploration and these different experiences that I've had exploring, or maybe we can even get into some of the psychological aspects of, you know, why do some people like to explore these buildings so much? You know, like we briefly touched on the EMF thing. I just want to, I know this is very disjointed, if that's the right word to use. What I'm doing now has been very disjointed, and it's been that way because I didn't prepare. I just set the camera up and I thought, I actually was watching The Drunken Peasants, which is a podcast that I enjoy. And I was watching it and I was thinking, man, I could do this, you know, I should just do my own little podcast. Cause I've been thinking about doing this before, and I recorded a podcast with my friend from Australia, but it didn't go well because we were so unfocused. You know, we just wanted to talk about travel, but all of my videos on my channel are about travel. That's what I do. I travel. And, you know, if I had a podcast talking about travel, I feel like it would be overkill. So I want to have this podcast where I just talk about urban exploration, exploring abandoned buildings. My baby just got past the barricade that I made, and I'll be right back. No, that's a bad baby. No. You are not allowed to go up there. No. I put this up. I put this barricade up for a reason. I put this up to prevent you from hurting yourself. Do you see? I'm trying to keep you safe. You understand? Look, I'm trying to keep you safe. Okay? You gotta chill. I'm gonna pee too, you guys. I'm gonna go pee. All right, hold on. Maybe you can hear me pee. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? That's me peeing. Taking a pee. Yeah. Okay. I am so very sorry about that, guys. I'm going to try to be more professional from now on. Okay. So, you know, if you guys like this, I have 200 subscribers now on my channel, which is pretty cool. You know, 200 people. I'd rather have 2 million, but hey, I appreciate. What did ICP say? You ever listen to ICP? There's this one song, I think it's called Juggalo Island, and they're like, and it starts with, I think it's Violent J, the fat one. It starts with him saying like there's this reporter is talking to her about juggalos, and she's like would you trade two juggalos for like 10 regular fans or something like that? And he's like, man, I wouldn't trade one juggalo for 10 million regular fans. A juggalo's priceless. I don't know why I just told you that. I have no idea where I was going with that. This is why I edit videos. This is why if you watch some of my videos, there's jump cuts. Because I'm like, oh, that was really stupid. I should cut that out. Man, podcasts are hard. You watch a podcast and you think, oh man, those people, I could do that. I could do that. I could totally do that. But maybe not. Maybe not, because it's like this uncensored, unedited thing. You just got to keep rolling with it. People will call you out. I saw a jump cut. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to be able to do this all the way through. But look, it's hard to talk for an hour, okay? It's hard. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to do. I've rambled on for the last hour, and I want to talk about, this will be a multi-part series. Look at this picture. You see this picture? That is the creepiest picture of a guy and his baby, and someone just ripped it off the wall. Chinese guy and his baby. Okay. Actually, before I get into that, I want to talk about this. See, I've gone off on all these tangents. This place, from what I understand, it was like a campus where all of the people who worked there sort of lived. Like, there's residential. This building that I'm in right now is a residential building. It looks like a building filled with apartments. They were lived in at some point. Some of them have chairs and beds. Or they had pictures up on the walls, like you saw that picture of the guy with his baby. So what happens is a lot of these, a company will open. Like, look at this. Look how messy this place is. A company will open. They do this thing. People come from rural areas to like a city like Shanghai or Beijing. They come here to work and send money back to their families. Sometimes they work for years and years. And so sometimes if a person is moving to a place and they're going to work there for a long time, they will bring their family with them. And so the place has like a temporary sort of campus that's for everybody. That's for the whole family. They've got, stores, they have residential area, they have the place that everyone works at. They even have schools. This place has a school. The last thing in this video, one of the last things, is the school that's at the edge of this complex. So, I was talking before about how people come from rural areas and send money back to their families. But, there could have been people like that, but also people who had families that brought them to this place to live. So they work there. So everything is kind of confined to this campus, the place that they work, the place that they live. And China is a very, 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 very exponentially, very classist society. China is obsessed with class. A person's class is like extremely important. Money and status and fame and, the way that you're looked at by other people is so much more important in China than it is in the United States of America. You hear people in the States talk about America's so classist or like, people are obsessed with money. You don't have any idea. If you've never come to Shanghai, Shanghai is really the only place in China I have a lot of experience with. But from what I understand, it's very similar in other places. In China, class is everything. The rich people, they don't hang out with the poor people. If you're poor, people look down on you. The people working at McDonald's, they're like bottom of the barrel, just dog shit. They're nothing, to the rich man. I don't know why the rich man's eating at McDonald's, but so in an area like this, a campus like this, I think people probably keep to themselves. And I don't live in a rich area. I live in a crappy little village, but it's not really a village, but it's compared to Shanghai, the city, compared to the metropolitan part of Shanghai, this place that I live in is just, whatever. It's very backwards. It's just like, it's no different from where I grew up in the Colony, Texas, Hickville. Hicks live here. It's just, it's kind of dirty and it's kind of gross. I don't know. They call them low people here. I'm not calling them that, okay? But they are referred to by people here as low people. But factory workers and people that work in in industry like construction, things like that. The people from these rural areas that are not Shanghainese, they're like the lowest people. They're low, like they're the worst. You know, they're like they're just terrible. Again, I'm not saying this. This is just generally what people think here about those kinds of people. So, you know, in an area like this, because I'm just making this assumption because I came to this place and I'm seeing what's here. It looks like there was a campus, a whole area where people worked, people lived, their families lived, their kids went to school there. They had commercial properties, so they had residential properties, commercial properties. So it was like a kind of self-contained city, like a tiny little town, a little village. And it's separated from the rest of the community that I live in. This is very close to where I live, like right down the street. And obviously, it's not open anymore. If you watch this video really closely, I did some close-ups. I'm sorry, my voice is starting to hurt from talking so much. I did some close-ups from calendars that I saw, and the newest calendar I saw was from 2013, I think it was 2012 or 2013. And right now it's 2018. So I don't think this place has been around for like 5 years. Maybe it's been abandoned like this. So it's not in use anymore, but it's still kind of closed off. And there's still a guard actually on one end of this place. And he's, I don't know, he's protecting this big empty place. I don't know. But, you know, they were kind of shut off from the rest of the community. And I think there's a lot of this sort of voluntary segregation that goes on in China. And it happens in the United States as well. I mean, obviously, there are places where, you know, people voluntarily segregate themselves. And other people voluntarily don't go to that place because they're afraid of there's a lot of that goes on in the United States. In China, it's the same way. You know, this is, oh, you can see too. Do you see this? This is kind of a storefront. This is a storefront that's right on the exterior, on the outside of this little campus area. And this storefront used to be accessible from the road that's next to, that's alongside this campus. So people, I guess people that lived there had their little stores. They had stores set up and everything. So yeah, it's very much a self-contained community that sort of exists outside of the context of the rest of Songjiang, the rest of this town that I live in, or this, I guess, province, district, I don't know, that I live in. Yeah, it's so you can kind of see it's like a miniature ghost town, you know. So this is what I'm going to do right now. I want to get into my experiences doing urban exploration. I want to talk about exploring my history with Urbex, when I started exploring buildings, and when the different places I've been. I lived in Baltimore, Maryland for 10 years, and I explored a lot of places there. I explored abandoned psychiatric hospitals, abandoned tuberculosis hospital, amusement parks, just a lot of different places. And I want to get really in depth within the coming, if I keep doing these videos, I want to get really in depth and tell you about the history, my history with these buildings. And I want to get into, the history of, my history with urban exploration. I feel like I just said the same thing like 10 times over and over again. So what I'm going to do, because I can't talk anymore, my voice is messed up. The baby's getting a little bit upset. I want to pay attention to her, give her some love. My wife is going to be home soon, and she has not been. She's kind of angry with me for other reasons. We were arguing this morning, and I feel like when she gets home, I should clean up a little bit and be playing with the baby. And anyway, so I'm going to split this video up into two sections. I will record because there's another hour left of exploring this place, this campus. And I've said what I wanted to say about this place, and we talked about the EMFs, and but the next part I'm going to talk about the first few places that I explored when I was a kid before I left Texas. We're going to go into the history of well, I'll tell you now. We're going to go into the history of Rosewood Hospital. That's, I think, what I'm going to focus on my next video. Rosewood Hospital is an abandoned psychiatric hospital in Maryland. It's one of the most terrifying places that I've ever been. I have extensively explored those buildings. Most of them burned down years after I was no longer exploring them. But we're going to get into the history of that place. That place has a really dark history to it. It's been open for a really long time. It has a dark horror movie history to it. There actually has been a horror movie. I think a James Franco produced independent horror movie based on the story, loosely based on some of the stuff that went down at Rosewood Hospital. And my baby is causing lots of problems. Give those to me. You hear my voice is done. Okay. So part 2 of this video is going to be, we're going to get into some of the history of these places. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, and you want to see me do more of these videos, you should let me know, right? Leave a nice little comment. No, there's no more. You got them all. See, she likes to take these. She likes to take these wet wipe containers and just rip all the wet wipes out of them. And then when she runs out of wet wipes, she gets angry, like that there's no more wet wipes to rip out. Anyway, you can leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about this video. And I want to know about you. Have you ever experienced EMF frequencies? Have you ever been affected by electromagnetic frequencies when exploring abandoned buildings? Let me know. Leave a comment. Give this video a big thumbs up. Also, if you have any ideas for places that I could visit, that I could go and reasonably explore that are in or around Shanghai, you should let me know. Here. Go get it. Go. Sometimes she's like a dog. I feel like the baby's like a dog. If you have any ideas about other places that I might explore, drop me a line. Well, don't drop me a line. Just leave a comment. I don't know why I said that. Leave a comment down below. Also be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you guys like this video, I'm going to make more of these. I really like doing these. I like this idea of doing kind of a podcast format. I'm going to try to be a little bit more organized. And I want to stop the video here because this is really cool. You see, this is like a big abandoned lunchroom. I guess this is where either the kids had lunch or the people that worked at this company had lunch. But I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to say goodbye to you. Subscribe to my channel. Give the video a big thumbs up. What else? Tell me about your experiences with EMFs and blah, blah, blah. I already said all that. See, I'm rambling now. I'm sorry about all the rambling, guys. I really am. This is my format. Totally unorganized. Baby is constantly interrupting. My voice is messed up. I clear my throat, It's a great video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching Triad Travelogues. We'll see you next time. Yeah. Oh, wait. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. 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 Good girl.